All right, greetings. So, turn up the video speed. Recently, Aaron Clarey did a video, and I'm going to say in that video he was wrong. And I like Aaron. I'm not trying to bash him, but I'm just being real about it. You know, his idea, don't try till you're 35 and just do things for yourself when you're young. That's okay, but the way I do it's way faster. How about being retired by the age of 30? Yeah. Freedom Phil, like, subscribe. Let's get into it. So it's like this. How do you do it? Well, number one, you have to understand that compound interest does more for you the longer you have it around. If you get started on these sort of things when you're 25 or 30, that's money you could have been making over the course of that time. Compound interest is a beautiful thing. And I'm not giving investment advice. I'm just saying common sense. But how to do it, how to live as cheap as possible to where you can have more than 150 after a few years of work. OTR trucking, as young as you can get into it. And by the way, I agree with what he says about getting a trade. If you're in high school and you can learn to be an electrician, a plumber, or something that you can get paid for, do that. But the reason I say trucking is no rent, no utilities, no bills, no problems. So how do you make the master plan with this? You get a van, an older van, something you can pay cash for, something that runs good, and because you're never really there to drive it. And proof positive, my van out front here, I think I've put around 30,000 miles since '09. Like '09 or '10 when I bought that. Yeah, 30,000 miles on it, mostly because I was driving truck. So when you're driving truck and no rent, no bills, no problems, you can take that money and basically invest it. Now, let me give you an example. When you get into the industry, you'll probably be making like 70 to 80K a year, depending on what company you go to. You might be getting paid bottom of the rate. And that first 6 months where you got to put some months in, then job hop to a better company. After you've got about a year experience, there's a lot of quality companies that will take you. And some of them even have good matches, like 10% match. And maybe there's some other companies have more, but 10% match. Say once you're making 100,000 at those companies, so you put in 10, they put in 10. Live in a state that has no state income tax, so you avoid paying that. And then the federal tax you would have paid effectively just got paid by what you got matched. You put in 10, they put in 10, so it's free money. So what do you live off of? So you got food, cell phone, laundry, auto insurance. On an old van, we're talking, my van is like 25 bucks a month for auto insurance. So not a lot of money. We're talking under 5 grand a year to live, buy a few Switch games, have a few things. Fuck, if you're working as much as you do when you're trucking, gonna be real about it. Yeah, you don't have the time to dick around. So you're working, anywhere from 50 on a slow week to 70 hours. If you max it out, 70 hours in 6 days burnt out, and then you got to take a 34-hour reset. So why do I suggest this? No rent, no bills, no problems. Therefore, investing when you're young. And what if you're putting away effectively 75 of your own money, and then the other 20,000, so 95K a year? What, 4 years? 4 years, you got your retirement fully funded. Now let's not stop there though. Let's keep working. Now let's be real. Let's go with 5 years because you're gonna have to get your experience. You start putting that money in and it's making you money. But then in the last few years, before you decide to retire before the age of 30, you're really looking for that house. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Here's how you find a house relatively easily. Go on Google Maps, you pass through a town and go, this is kind of a cute town. Look on Google Maps and see what a house costs there. Just look at the name, then say, this town, real estate. And you will see houses. Now people say, oh, I want a new house. Well, then you're going to pay for that. And you've got to save up a little more money. And if you've got the skills, like Aaron said, plumber, electrician, maybe you got some family members, that's even better. So let's just say you buy a raw piece of land and then build something. Maybe you build a bachelor hut, little tiny house, or maybe you just buy an old house. There are tons of places that are affordable because the old people pass on, just like with vehicles. I mean, I don't know if you watched his video about the cars, but old people pass on. They don't want to keep the pickup or the car. The same thing happens with houses. I found houses that were perfectly fine for 40 grand. Okay. 40 grand. It was in Texas, some town that starts with a B. And you just look all over the country and you'll find property. So you could literally work half a year, maybe 40 to 80 grand, and you could pay cash for a house. Now let's say, what about a new car? Well, make sure you got a garage before you do this. New car, get yourself a garage, buy something that's, for long distances, and then maybe have an old pickup from around town. You need to go get firewood or you're going to go out and do something, pull a boat. You're not using it all the time. Get an old pickup or use your old van. So the point of it is that retirement by the age of 30, this whole idea of don't try till you're 35, and he wasn't suggesting that. He was saying do it a little different. It's old hat. When you're young, that's the best time to get in the game. If you could be working at 14, making money and investing when you're young, yeah, that's the way to do it. And then because you're a minimalist and you need next to nothing to get by, like I've told people I can live off, I'm happy off less than 5,000 a year. So if I make 100K, how many years is that me sitting on my backside if I wish to? I'm just saying. So love Aaron's work, buy his books. I've bought pretty much all his books except for his latest one. What is it? The Zero World Problems. It's funny. I've only read one of them though, because I feel like at some point, if I'm reading this book really worth my time, I've already listened to Aaron for years. So I probably already know everything he's going to say in there. But I got to admit, he's a cool cat. I just think his numbers are not as good as mine, to be honest. And I'm not trying to take a dig at him, but yeah, this is Freedomville. Like and subscribe, and always turn up the video speed. You know why? Because it makes things go faster, get the information quicker. Take it easy.